Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever the case may be in this great, wonderful world we call home. It is the Aloha Hour, and I am your humble host, Mike S. Miller, joined once again by my co-host, Edwin Boyette.
Aloha.
And special guest, John Delaros.
Aloha.
So, John today posted up a article on kitty cats. No, wait. On
I've got a cat sleeping on my lap, so let's be quiet, guys, so she doesn't get disturbed. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Well, John, why don't you just tell us what your article was, so that I don't.
Sure. Yeah, I actually pitched it as a state of the comic industry, like a state of the union for the comic industry, and I opened with the problems that we're seeing in the industry, just kind of in a nutshell. Just kind of gave an overview. For the people out there who don't read comics and are just seeing kind of the train wreck that Marvel and DC are enacting upon all of us, and then I said, then I twisted it for the second half of the article, and I said, but there's a solution, and the solution is crowdfunds, and we're coming out. All these independent creators are coming out here and doing our own thing now, and we're succeeding wildly. Lone Star's killing it. Are you at 50 yet?
No. I'm at 47,964. So I'm $36 away from 48.
Yeah, so you'll hit 48 tonight for sure. I'm at 16,687. I might hit 17 tonight. I'll probably hit it by the time I wake up. So yeah, we're killing it. And that was kind of the gist of the article. I go into detail on all of these things, and I call this all out by name too. So hopefully I got you some clicks.
And guys, in the chat, I don't know, I'm having a hard time figuring out if it's working. I got monetized.
Yeah, somebody try to give Mike a super chat, because he needs his first super chat cherry here, so somebody needs to do this for him. Do it.
For some reason. Oh, I have to be on the YouTube app. Hold on a second. All right. Home.
All right.
Home. Gosh darn it. How do I get home?
You have a super chat from a man named Edwin Boyette right now.
Oh, super chats are working?
Yep.
Sweet googly moogly. All right, Edwin Boyette wants me to say Lone Star Squadron. Ho!
That's pretty good, and I'm gonna let you finish, but this is how it's done. All right, so everybody, if you got headphones on, you should probably take them off. You should probably hit mute on your volume. I'm going to give you a 5 count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lone Star Squadron! Ho!
Edwin likes to break speakers.
Yeah, Edwin, that was way more epic than Mike's version. I got it.
Hey, and sorry, John, we're totally derailing you here, but let me play again the beginning of the Lone Star Squadron Lone Star theme song that I got from gosh, who did this, Edwin? I forgot.
That was Christ Energetics. Christ Energetics.
All right, so here we go.
You have 2 super chats to read first, though. Get on this.
Oh, to your right, I've got EBS to sell some books for you, Mike. Right on. Where's the other one? And Steve Dye says Lone Star Squadron for the win for $2. Thank you, guys. And here we go. Lone Star Squadron.
To battle to face down his foe, the dreaded Iron Cross. He's fought to the break and was given the strength of a noble cause.
All right, so that's all we got so far.
Nice.
But, yeah.
I'm jealous. I don't have a song. I'm mad.
Jay Simmerly for $2. Congrats, Mike. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, it literally took about a month.
Nice.
To get the super chats, but you know.
Oh, I thought you meant to get the song.
Sergeant Bats, not tonight. But thanks, Mike. How do I super chat you?
There's a little like $ right below the chat, and you click on that.
Scotty Richard Studio. I would like smoked salmon and papaya on my taco. That actually sounds nice. I think smoked salmon and maybe mango, though. But the customer is always right, Scotty. So you'll have your order in 3 weeks. All right, so John, sorry, we got a little distracted. What is it you are?
I don't know. I'm enamored by this song. I mean, it kind of had that like I am a real American Hulk Hogan vibe. You know,
we're going for an '80s like cartoon theme song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was great. They had the beginning.
Let me pull up my article because I don't remember what I wrote. Because I don't spend enough time writing, apparently. I get told that a lot. People always tell me, like, yeah, focus on your writing more. It's like, I don't know that I can write more than I do physically. So, yeah, so I opened it up here. Let me see if I can't screen share because I'm on Brave right now. And Brave browser doesn't let you do that.
Wow, I didn't know you could use this on Brave. I always have to use Chrome.
It took some doing, but yeah, the only problem is Brave does not do the screen share aspect of it. I'm a big alt tech guy because I hate the tech companies and what they're doing, and I mean, just look at what they did to Alex Jones this week. I mean, that's all you got to say. That's going to happen to us eventually.
Yeah, that's why the mailing list. Sierra Whiskey for $1.99. Now you can quit Shoguns, Mike. Back Lone Star, yes.
Yeah.
So, are you into cryptocurrency?
I haven't tried that yet. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I mean, if somebody wants to give me cryptocurrency, I'll take it.
The browser is blockchain enabled, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So you can actually, in theory, monetize your websites by signing up as like a Brave partner. Right. I haven't done that with my website. Maybe I should. I mean, a lot of people read my website, so
yeah, they use the basic attention token, I believe.
Yeah, but no, I'm not super tech savvy, so I haven't gone that far into it.
Right on. All right, so your article, please.
My article. Let's see. So we've got it open. A year and a half ago, comic book fans and retailers started rumbling about problems in the industry. I'd say a year and a half. That's about when my first article came out. In the Federalist, when I sort of went through Marvel's writers and I went through all of their Twitter accounts and I saw that every single one of them.
Oh, that was you. Was
yeah, I started this Comicsgate thing. Every single one of them, had like some anti-Trump smack talk or anti-conservative or anti-Christian smack talk on their Twitter. There was not one Marvel Comics writer who was coming out in the month of February who had any other contrary opinion or even was silent. So there you go. So about a year and a half ago, people were rumbling about that, and they had a marketing tactic to swap all their characters with minorities or whatnot, as we know. And then I say, look, they've switched editor-in-chiefs now at this point. The guys had a bit of a tenure to actually do something. They announced this legacy initiative, and basically not very much has changed over at Marvel. If you look at what they've done, they've just moved Nick Spencer from Captain America over to an even higher profile title, Amazing Spider-Man. They've moved Dan Slott, shuffled him over to Fantastic Four. I mean, nothing's changed over there. It's all the same people, all the same personnel. They really didn't get the message whatsoever. And on DC's front, we have this new initiative from Vertigo, where they're really going just absolutely bonkers, hiring people like Zoe Quinn to make books. They have a book that features prostitutes as superheroes, and as they feature, the first issue features a salacious lesbian kiss on the front, and then the third is Border Town, which that's been making the rounds with that preview image that says "Make America Great Again, Mother Effer," and more. And that's what's happening at the big companies right now.
Carlton 76, $5. Squadron member number 32, nice. That's an early burger. Congrats on nearly 48K, Mike. Also backer number 123 on Flying Sparks.
Thank you, backer number 123.
For us, we're the Lone Star Squadron. Anybody in the first 30 days during the initial run, whatever your number is, that's like your serial number. And only those people in the first 30 days become members of the Lone Star Squadron. And then, like, as time goes on and I build out this entire universe, those people within that first 30 days are going to get like special opportunities and special stuff, maybe free stuff and access that the rest of the universe is not allowed access to. So I guess I don't push that much, but for those who are new, yeah, that's you back within the next 4 days, and you are, Lone Star Squadron elite. So I guess I should bring that up more often.
So I'm number 425.
Nice. Yeah. Matt Hayes for $5. Support Lone Star. Will Lone Star go to store mode after campaign is over? Is Lone Star Universe more supernatural than superhero? It will go into store mode. Supernatural more than superhero. It's a good question. I don't know that I can answer it accurately. What do you think, Ed, when you've read the story?
Well, one thing you got to remember is it's not the Lone Star universe. It is the Blacklist universe. Yes. Okay, and there is at least among some of the antagonists that we meet, there is a supernatural element, but there's a lot to unfold, right? Because once you bring in the nuclear family, once you bring in Superhero G and some of these other things you look at.
God, sword, Kagemusha, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, Kagemusha. And then one thing to remember too, Lone Star and the Unknown Soldiers are they're super soldiers of some sort, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's not a spoiler. That's that we don't know the mechanisms of the process, but I think in your first video or the second video you made, you actually your son put like some sort of animation effect on the what looks like some sort of super soldier process, right in the video.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I would say more superhero than supernatural.
Yeah. I'm going to go with his opinion. Scotty Richards Studio asks if there's any thought on BitChute as a YouTube alternative or backup channel. I haven't considered it yet, but you never know. I don't want to be in the Alex Jones spot. I don't want to be demonetized. I mean, if this monetization, I mean, thank God I got monetized today. But if this monetization becomes like an integral part of my income, and then they pull a freaking Crowder on me and they just pull my monetization altogether someday, boy, that would suck. So options would have to be looked into. DJD asks if he can still buy Slab B in store mode for $100. Yeah, everything. I guess I have to look over everything, but I think everything will be available in store mode up until I put my final orders in. So for the most part. Yeah. Okay. So anyways, where were we?
The Federalist?
The Federalist.
Oh, yeah. So that was the Marvel and DC portion of it. But they also let me write about the crowdfund movement. And for a long time, we only were able to complain about things. A lot of people, I think, already know this. My article is more to reach out to the general, right-leaning community, because the Federalist is a if you're not familiar with it, it's a very mainstream website. It gets hundreds of thousands of reads per day, and is, you know, they cater towards libertarians, and I would say just like center right. They don't. I might be the most extreme writer there. Is that fair to say? I don't know. So I was trying to write this mostly for people who don't know, and I just talked about the overall state of the industry, but you know, things are finally changing, and I mentioned, of course, you know, Jawbreakers, Lost Souls, and Cyberfrog, and then how crazy those went. Went into Trump's Space Force by our good friends Chuck Dixon and Timothy Lynn, and of course talked about Red Rooster, the Brightweisters, and everybody's favorite Lone Star, which you know, when I wrote it, it was raised more than 45,000. You know, needs a revision already.
Yeah.
And
we were $36 away from 48.
Yeah, and then I even snuck in a mention of my own book, Flying Sparks. So please back that too. Yep. And then Stardust and Jack Irons. You know, when I wrote this, it was actually a couple weeks ago, so a couple of the newer ones weren't out yet, and that was about as much as I could sneak into the article. You know, and get everybody in, but did what I could. Hopefully, I got Comicsgate at least a few backers today. I got 3 backers directly from the Federalist website myself, is what Indiegogo tells me.
Oh, so, yeah. Wait, how do you track that?
Oh, you don't know how to track that in Indiegogo?
No.
Oh, I'm gonna change your life, Mike. Okay, so go into your campaign page.
I am. And, I'm opening Brave.
Let me pull up my mine so I can look at it and guide you. Flying Sparks. Okay. All right. So I'll get into mine, and then on your left you have a your sort of like campaign bar where it says like View Campaign, Campaign Editor. Oh, I forgot you've got the computer that needs replacing.
Yes.
What I know about Kotaku in action. Yeah, I mean, honestly, guys, I'm not on Reddit much. I was shadow banned on Reddit because of politics, obviously, and so I can't post anywhere and have people see it. So please post the link to Flying Sparks over there. Post the link to Lone Star over there. Getting this out and getting our names out there. Mention that I break Comicsgate stories. That'd be very helpful, obviously. So.
Sierra Whiskey says 291 was number 90, but I upgraded it. You can keep your original numbers because that number still remains. It doesn't get deleted or bumped down or anything like that. It registered as canceled, and if I look up and see that you upgraded, then you still get to be number 90, Sierra.
All right, you got it up now?
Indiegogo. No star, not a hero. No star, not a hero. Sketch has a question for you there, John.
Oh, who's Sketch? Let me see.
Sketch Therapy.
Sketch Therapy, where are you? I don't see Sketch Therapy. Oh, there it is. Okay. Please ask Delarose if he wants to join us Saturday. There's a lot of sci-fi fans over there at World Class Bullshitters. It depends on the time.
I would.
Just because of, oh, sorry, I was just reading the chat. But it just depends on the time. You know, I've got little kids, so I got to hang out with them first. But I'd be happy to hang out otherwise.
Okay, I'm on it.
Okay.
Dashboard.
Campaign insights.
Ooh. Click your stupid button.
You scroll down past all the bars where it shows what you got that day. And I'm actually having a good day today. Good stuff. And then below that, there's a pie chart with sources. It says how sources work, and then all sources. And you can track what sources it comes from. My top comes from just people on Indiegogo clicking on my link. Second comes from a link I posted, you know, which probably comes from Twitter. After that, Facebook. And then it goes from my website. Lots of clicks from my website.
Oh, it's the all sources thing?
Yeah. You see that?
Yeah.
All sources. And you can scroll down. You probably have several pages worth of sources. And Oh man, thanks, Kat. So I've got a few people's websites, like John C. Wright posted me on his website. I got a sale from there. Vox Day posted me on his website. I got 4 sales from there.
Ooh, I got 6 contributions and 68 referrals from We Are Comicsgate, and
Perfect.
five contributions and 96 referrals from John Delarose.
Hey, see, I got you 5 sales. That's
Oh, wait. No, there's another We Are Comicsgate. 3 more, so 9 total, and then almost 90 referrals.
nice. There you go. That's how you know. So I'm glad I got you 5. That's pretty solid for a website. And
I got 42 contributions from Ethan Van Skyver.
that's a good work. Yeah, he's got juice.
Thank you.
And then is the Federalist on there? I don't know. If the Federalist didn't get you anything, I'm sorry. I tried.
Okay. I got 1 from Gary Shipman, 1 from Edwin Boyette. No, nothing from the Federalist.
Sad. Oh well. What can you do?
That's quite all right.
I tried.
You did.
At least my website got you 5. That means I have more juice than the Federalist.
Right. 236. Sweet. Okay, and this is how I can track who gets stuff.
Absolutely.
Right. Nice.
You can actually create individual links for people and make a game out of it too.
Right on.
Mike Miller is one of my top referrers. Wow.
Yeah, I think a couple times haven't I shown Flying Sparks on here a couple times, Mike?
Must be why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chuck Dixon's also one of my top referrers. Thanks, Chuck.
So I only got 19 contributions from Facebook. I don't know if that's not working.
That's interesting.
Because you ran an ad there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's the Federalist. I got 1.
Hey, I got you 1 sale. Cool.
I'll take it.
That was worth writing.
I got 1 from MSN. What the heck?
That's interesting.
I got 1 from KeenSpot. 1 from KeenSpot. Are you serious? Man, he had my ad all over KeenSpot for a while. I got 1 stinking.
But now Indiegogo is probably always going to show up as the number 1. Like,
yeah,
because people are going to type in Indiegogo and then they're going to go into the search bar and they're going to search for like Flying Sparks, or they're going to search for LONESTAR.
Options. I got Indiegogo Search. I got Indiegogo Explore, Indiegogo Home, Indiegogo Mobile, Indiegogo Email.
So, but the thing you can't track from any of those is how many people knew about your project ahead of time and were looking for it and just went to Indiegogo proper and then just clicked on it. You don't know. So I don't know how many people are just coming from Indiegogo, but I think a lot of our Comicsgate people are on there anyway, and that's why this happens. They just eventually click on us because they're on these websites a lot.
Curious about the YouTube source. I guess that would be my link, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
But okay, so then all of these are combined into that one. All right. I get it. Very good.
All right, so we also gotta point out, if anybody's new, we now have a Lone Star official fan group on Facebook, and so please come join that. I think we may be having a Discord chat this weekend, and so gotta thank 2 people for the fan group. I always thank our Contessa of Comicsgate, Pope Fire, who is one of our mods, and then I always forget to thank James S in the chat. He helped with a lot of work on that, getting that set up. So thank you, James.
All right. Well, what were we talking about?
Crowdfunding.
Crowdfunding in general. Yeah, so my article was just a general overview, and most people on our side seem to like it, and most people on the other side seem to really not like it.
It was completely bombarded on Twitter with haters.
Yeah.
That was incredible how many people came on there just to talk smack. I mean, there was like over 300 comments, I think, if I remember correctly. And they were like 99% just freaking all out haters. It'd be interesting to track where all those people came from because, because it was clearly an organized campaign. Because you wouldn't have that if it was just organic. You'd have maybe 50-50 or something at least.
Yeah, I wonder who linked it. Maybe some of our soldiers here can do some sleuthing and figure out what Comic Pro linked my Federalist piece this morning to get all the haters on here, because it's not like the haters read the Federalist. Like this is a very right-wing magazine.
Right. Very strange. Very strange. But hey, at least they got it hits and probably made it trend.
I got a lot of personal hate comments today too. So it definitely that tells me I definitely was like way right over the mark.
Yeah.
And there you go. Mike, you went on here and responded to a bunch of them. Oh my gosh, I'm looking at the comments now.
A handful.
Well, they hate Comicscape because they can't control it.
Yeah.
They don't have any influence or anything over it. So and they want to reduce it and slow it down. So they hate the success of it, because the success of it means that people are decoupled from their influence, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So that's, as it gets more successful, I would expect the amount of vitriol and the amount of people just flipping their lids to actually increase.
Yeah, 208 comments. I mean, if you look at every other Federalist tweet on here, it gets like 5, 10, 20. I mean, this was definitely targeted this morning.
Yeah. Someone, Berserker Pride says, cough, Mark Wade, cough. It would be really interesting to know. Sourcewall, Mike, did you do work on the JLA in the 90s? I did do work on the JLA in the 90s. I actually showed some of it, I think, today on the stream. On that 4-hour-long stream. I did. Actually,
the show tunes stream.
The show tune stream, yeah. My daughter and I were singing up a storm. Oh my gosh, why is my computer so slow? I need extra like iPads just so I can run multiple programs because my Hey, I got another contribution. I wonder where that puts me. That was nice tonight on Ethan's. It really did.
All right, man. All right.
Picked you up good.
You're gonna spoil it for me, huh? Nice, 48:02. Hey, what time did I hit 47? I hit 47 today, like in the middle of the day. So I'm up 47 to 48, probably in 6 hours. Yeah, it was Ethan. It was Ethan streaming. So I thank him profusely. Adding every penny. Yeah. Somebody said that Backer Kit had me up trending to go to 63,000. Which would be good. Couldn't complain about that. Your daughter is way better singer than you. You're still the best Elvis in Comicscape. Thanks. I don't know. I think Edwin could probably pull off a pretty good Elvis.
The Elvis, I'm probably not as good as yours. I might could do a Roger Miller for you though.
Roger Miller.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Trailer for sale or rent. Rooms to let 50 cents. No phone, no pool, no pets. I ain't got no cigarettes. So 2 hours of push and broom. buys an 8x12 4-bedroom. I'm a man of means by no means. King of the road. See if we can get some super chants to get me to stop singing. It would be a beautiful
James Dean Company, $10. Some of the hater comments were genuinely hilarious. Some were sad, though. I saw one of a shop owner that was a hater, but his shop is dying because of these craptastic companies. More fans suffer. So, yeah, back on topic. Marvel and DC, I mean, we talked about this on the Jim Lee, Dan Didio stream. They don't get it. And I was even having a discussion on Twitter today with someone who was saying how, you know, oh, Comicsgate's only made this much money, but there are web comics, SJW, whatever. I wouldn't consider them SJW necessarily, but there are web comics with more diverse cast or whatever that were making, you know, $500,000 or more for their Kickstarters or Indiegogos and everything. And I'm like, well, web comics are a different animal. They're a different medium.
Yeah.
Web comics.
I actually started as a web comic. So Flying Sparks was a web comic originally.
Yeah, and
we've talked about this before too. So
yeah, but if you just stuck on web Flying Sparks as a web comic, produced it daily. Yeah, well, yeah, I remember you're talking about the daily
content. Yeah, important thing.
Content, or you know, 3 times a week, as long as it's consistent.
And I did it for 10 years or whatever. I'd probably, you know, be able to do a Kickstarter, make a lot of money.
Right, right. Because a lot of these web comics started 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Or more. And they've just built up this constant audience of hundreds of thousands or even millions of viewers. I mean, Penny Arcade got so many viewers, they started PAX Cons.
Right.
And PAX Cons are huge conventions all over the world. So it's really a different animal. And I have been complaining. I tried to get DC to run Injustice because we had so much. Look at all this material. We have. Can you see that shelf? That's all Injustice.
Crazy.
Right? We have so much material for Injustice. They could have run it because it was already formatted for digital comics. They could have run it as a web comic for years and years and years and never caught up to where they were.
Oh my gosh. Can you imagine if Marvel and DC had actually been on top of technology? I mean, they've got their like Comixology platform sort of now, but if they actually like really pushed, I mean, they could have stopped so much indie creation over the last 10 years that I think a lot of people wouldn't have moved on.
Yeah. But in Injustice in particular, it reached so many people outside of comicdom. If you go to YouTube and you look up Injustice comics, I mean, like Comicstorian, Comics Island, all these guys doing all of these books on Injustice, there's hundreds of thousands, if not millions of readers of Injustice reading it on YouTube or listening to stories about it on YouTube that DC could have been using to build up a brand new marketplace for Injustice as an entry point into DC Comics, into their other properties. And then it's like, hey, you know what? After you've got 1 million people a day reading your book, sell 10% of them your freaking trade paperbacks. And they wouldn't do it. They're like, we're considering it.
How many copies actually got sold of that Injustice or distributed?
I don't know. I know that the pamphlet, the 32-page book, whatever, 40-page, whatever, the comic books itself sold around 16,000 to 18,000 copies, which is about what the Flash sold. But the trades were New York Times bestsellers, and the digital comics were #1 in every market on the planet almost, except for I think Israel for some reason. Brad Noble, $2. He wants me to say, I have too many kids. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, what I was going to say, I was going to say two things. There, I mean, there's so much iconic imagery that comes from the Injustice series, right? That you got a couple of really memorable things from there, like where the headbutt scene with Superman and Wonder Woman, and then the Joker getting punched was yours too, right?
That one?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's me.
yeah. And so those are pretty iconic scenes. But
And
it's
Alfred headbutting Superman. That was me.
oh yeah. But John, we make this joke sometimes because all these people are making money off of YouTubing about injustice. That I like to say that Mike Miller is now the seventh most popular Mike Miller YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Because there's people with probably hundreds of thousands of views on, if not millions of views on injustice stuff he did.
I think we're all sitting here kicking ourselves and going, "Why didn't we do this earlier?" Right?
Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah. I know. I mean, honestly, you look at those guys. Like, I'll just use Comic Storian as an example. He's got 1.8 million subs,
wow.
and a whole bunch of those people probably came over for the sake of, you know, how many injustice things he does. So, however many of those guys are my fans, he's got them, and I don't know how to get them from him. I want bring them over here, even if it's a tenth of that. You know, I could use 40,000 subs. But yeah. Top 2 guys spam injustice, millions of views. I could spam some injustice, but it gets old.
Yeah. You've moved on now. You've got your own thing, and it's better.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, what I could do is write my own injustice stuff, and then I have the same colorist. I could just create my own injustice pages and my own stories and just post them up there. Alternate injustice stories.
That was interesting. When I was first trying to get into the business, interestingly, one of my friends wrote for Star Trek: The Next Generation, and she is primarily responsible for developing like the Klingon culture. It was that first one where they did like that swap where Riker went over to the Klingon and then a Klingon went over to the Enterprise, and they did like a exchange sort of thing between the militaries. And so she developed the Klingon culture personally, but that wasn't the original thing she sent into them. She sent in a different script with a different idea, and they liked it, and she just was submitting blindly. They liked it. She had a good story to it, but they wanted something else. They're like, do something else that's something else. And so I asked her what the story was, and it was this like beautiful like Geordie LaForge story with a sister, with like his sister comes aboard the Enterprise, and they get caught up with some aliens who like have this like Romeo and Juliet plot, and they have to save the Enterprise through engineering, of course. And it was wonderful. And so I started pitching Simon and Schuster with it, and you know, I'm like, we have like a legitimate lost episode of Star Trek Next Generation. Like this would sell like hotcakes. This is, you know, if you market this right, this is amazing. And yeah, it sounds a lot like alternate injustice there.
Well, you know, I actually got hired by NetherRealms and Warner Brothers Games to write a pitch for Injustice 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm trying to get the rights to actually make that public because it's under NDA. But I can't get freaking return email from the guys at Infinity Ward, so it's not Infinity Ward, NetherRealms.
Yeah, it was the same thing. We had the same thing. It's like, we've got this. She's a legitimate Next Generation author, and they just like don't care. You know, I don't know. These companies are stupid all the way around. Is what I right?
Yeah. Colonel Comics for $5 says, Injustice got me right into comics. You are responsible for my rampage through Comicsgate, Mike. I hope you're happy. Colonel Comics away! I am happy, Colonel Comics. I hear that a lot, that Injustice got people into comics for the first time, or that Injustice brought people back into comics after a long time of thinking there was nothing worth reading. Because like I said, even before all this SJW stuff, people have been leaving the comic book industry for decades. This has been a slow, steady leak of just people just walking away and walking away, whether it was because of the nonstop crossovers or because of the content of the books has well, it's changed a bit since the 80s, right?
Yeah.
Just all the, we were, you weren't here, Edwin, but John and I were having a discussion about how the loss of the Comics Code, or the rejection of the Comics Code, is what is killing the industry today, because you've got 30 years of comic book companies not trying to tailor their books so that they're accessible to children. Yeah. And I blew John's mind with that.
Yeah, I mean that really does sum it up. I mean, it's always hard to pin down because there's so many problems with the comic industry now that it's like, where do I even start, right? But there is a good point.
How old's your oldest, John?
9.
Think about like the Marvel titles that are available now. What would you let your 9-year-old read?
None.
There you go.
I give my 9-year-old, let's see, I think I give him a few books. There's a Voltron book. I think IDW does that, which is based on the cartoon on Netflix that he's watching right now.
Oh, except one of the guys is going to be gay next.
Oh, no. Are they really going to do that? Well, there goes that.
It's IDW.
Yeah. And then IDW has also got Star Wars Adventures, which is pretty innocuous. I let him read that. He reads The Tick. Colin Bunn is redoing The Tick, and it's pretty all ages friendly currently. And I talked to him, and he said he wrote it intentionally that way. And I'm like, thank you. And I think, I mean, he reads a lot of the old Essential books. He's really into the old Hulk. But just looking at the new Hulk, there's no reason to buy him the new Hulk. It looks terrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sierra Whiskey asks, did you announce the new 50,000 goal on Indiegogo? I have not on this stream. So I got the contact for the dog tag people, and at $50,000 we will be doing Lone Star Squadron dog tags available. They'll just come with any, I guess, gosh, should it be every purchase or every purchase over? I'd like to give it to every purchase, everyone who's available. I mean, unless you just did the $5 or the digital copy, I don't have your address at that point. So if you got something I can ship to you, I'll be sending you a dog tag. So if you want a dog tag and all you got was a digital copy or the Lone Star membership, then you're gonna have to pony up for something where I actually have to ship you something. But yeah, we're going to be doing the dog tags for the $50,000 goal, which at this rate, heck, it might be tomorrow. That'd be fantastic. But tomorrow, day after tomorrow, something like that. Edward?
So, no, I was just thinking about in the Blacklist universe, if you could ever create like a Injustice style story once you got your universe filled out and you had your stuff expanded. But man, that's a lot of stuff between here and there. And is there anybody going to be on that? How strong is Superhero G? Because he is.
Depends. It depends on Tanner.
Right.
So you don't know, John. I have a character called Superhero G. He's from the Imaginaries.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're probably not familiar with that book, but he's the imaginary friend of this boy Tanner. So when in our world, when we forget about imaginary friends because we're growing up, they go to a world called the Imagination, because a child's love is a powerful thing and it actually gives life to their imaginary friends. And so that life doesn't just disappear when they're forgotten about. They go to the Imagination. And in this story, there's a whole story behind it. I don't want to get into it. but Superhero G ends up back on Earth, but as a physical being. And so, because Tanner is his creator, he can imagine new powers for Superhero G on the fly. So, like, as he needs things, he can. But, you know, in that case, he has to be right there. So he dresses up as Hero Boy, even though he doesn't have any powers other than giving Superhero G powers. He still likes to be in the fray of it. So,
Sweet.
So yeah, and he's like a big, goofy, imaginary friend of a kid. So it's like it's more along the lines of like the Tick than Superman, you know?
Yeah, that's a cute concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's still readable. I picked up. It's aged well. When did it get published?
About 10 years ago. Well,
So it's called The Imaginaries. I'm trying to Amazon this right now.
yeah,
Comixology, or is it? Oh, I guess you could get there from Amazon because they bought Comixology. Yeah,
I don't see.
Jeffrey Graham asks how I can do all this by September. It's going to be tight, but if everything goes as planned, I should be able to get it all out by the end of September. Like to you, hopefully. I mean, unless you live on the other side of the planet, it doesn't take that long to ship things from San Diego to New York. So hopefully by the end of September. Not like September for this isn't going to happen. So yeah, that's Imaginaries. Comixology. Sounds like Shazam, sort of. No,
I found it on Amazon here. It's not linking to Comixology. Is there a trade version of it?
Yeah, the first 4 issues.
Okay.
Shazam, Billy Batson becomes Shazam. And then Shazam has a limited set of powers. But Tanner is a separate person from Superhero G. And he can give him the powers when he needs them.
you know, next week if we have time, there's a dude I want to introduce you to Mike at some point. I've talked to him a little bit, maybe after you wrap up. We've got one member of Comicsgate from Australia. He's in your chat, excavating the ruins. I've talked to him a little bit. Seems like a cool dude. He's got like a Rob Liefeld kind of vibe to some of the stuff he's got going on. It's like this real big. But he's been coming in pretty faithfully. I've talked to that cat a couple of times, excavating the. Oh, Sierra Whiskey is saying God's sword.
I know, Godsword. Hey, you gotta make it reasonable for me to be able to, because like even at $60,000, I wouldn't be able to like start funding Godsword to get Paolo working on it. I mean, maybe a little bit. Maybe I could squeeze a little bit out and get him doing a few pages, and then launching an Indiegogo off of that. But do you know, John? Have you heard of Godsword?
Yeah, we were talking about it on the chat the other day too. So it seems like people talk about this constantly with you. So you're gonna have to do it.
Yeah. I guess so. But I got other things to do. But yeah, we'll do it.
Well, after Lone Star gets spooled out, though, I still think Nuclear Family. I think if you had like 3 or 4 pages in Nuclear Family, people would go nuts over that too.
I want to do that too. Yeah, absolutely.
Because what's one of the most popular comic books right now? Super Sons.
Yeah.
People imagine that people like comic books that have normal, healthy relationships in them. Yeah,
and that's what it is. Nuclear Family is about the nuclear family more than about, it's about a family who happens to have superpowers. So, yeah, more along the lines of the Incredibles than the Fantastic Four.
John, do you know where you're going to print Flying Spark sets yet?
No. What's what have I looked at so far? There's what's it called? The ink something? Ink something? I don't know. I was looking at that. Is it called Ink Print Ninja? Was that it? Yeah.
Oh, Print Ninja, yeah.
Print Ninja.
Yeah.
That's digital printing.
There's one other Tim Lim mentioned to me, and I don't remember the name of what it was, but I haven't decided yet. What are you doing, Mike?
I haven't decided yet. My print broker buddy wants me to do Trivision in Korea, and they do fantastic work. They print all of IDW's books. They print a lot of Images books, but that's a 4.5 to 6 week delivery, and that'll put me into October at the minimum, possibly into November, and I'm not doing that. So I need to find somebody in the United States, maybe Canada, something can give me a 2 week turnaround. I know printers, I know publishers that will have
I've done Kablam before, but I don't feel like they're more for vanity, doing 20 copies or something like that.
Yeah, digital printing. If you're going to be printing, how many do you think you'll be doing?
I might just print 1,000. I'm going to guess I'm going to probably end up around 600 backers. I'm at 410 right now, right? That seems reasonable.
And is this just issue one of many?
Yeah, that's the thing, is I'm going to be doing a volume 2 probably. This is 3 issues worth. And volume 2 will also be 3 issues worth.
Okay, and you've dealt with print before, right?
Yeah, I've done it before.
So you understand that if you have volume 1,
right?
If you don't have volume 1 when you're selling volume 2, you can't sell volume 2.
Right. So I know I'm going to have to.
So you're going to have to overprint quite on volume 1 to manage the sales. If you expect exponential growth, like I expect by the time I launch Lone Star 2, I'll have 2.5 times, maybe 3 times as many subscribers.
I have no idea what to expect for the future. I mean, part of me, up until I started talking to probably you, I was kind of thinking that like second and third ones, like people are going to get burned out of supporting these. But you're so optimistic that like, this is going to be something we can do as a business model until we really find a different solution. And I mean, the audience is growing. So I think I am starting to think you're right, but I have no idea what to expect. I mean, I'm probably going to do volume 2 like in January, February, and see how it goes. But this is all 100%, this is a new business for me. I haven't been in this business at all for, unlike a lot of you guys. So we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're all kind of playing it by ear, but I've been in publishing before, so I know that,
Yeah, I am definitely going to,
I sat on
going to overprint
of Lullaby #2 trade paperbacks. I mean, boxes and boxes of these things, because I sold out a #1, and without #1, #2 just sits there. You can't sell #2 if you don't have #1.
Right. So you think, I don't know, but so what would you overprint? So if I get 600 backers, would you print 1,800 copies if I'm planning on doing a few volumes?
I think that's optimistic, but I think with the break in printing price with the higher numbers, it might be worthwhile.
Is there even a break there? I know there's a break at 1,000.
I don't know. It depends on the printer.
Okay. Yeah, it's true. I know all this stuff is interesting, and I don't know. I have no idea what to do, guys. I won't lie.
Well, we're all here for you, buddy.
Yeah.
Mike is the light. I actually had a character called the light. Actually, I changed his name to Seer, though. And that's that kid. The kid in pages 20, 21, 22, 23. That's Seer. He used to be called the light.
Okay.
Anyways, I think we're probably over an hour. I can't even check the time. I have no idea.
9:15, so it is 12:15 in California.
Yeah. When did we start?
About 8:15.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let us wrap this up then. John, did you want to?
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. If you guys go on and back Flying Sparks, I would appreciate that too. I fancy myself as a character first guy. So if you are into deep character, if you're into like, you know, sort of heavy writing from like what you'll get from a science fiction novelist, that is the book that I'll be delivering to you. It's going to be a little more relationship focused than Lone Star, I'm going to guess. I've only seen the previews of Lone Star, but that's kind of my gimmick. Is this is going to be a relationship between a hero and villain, and I appreciate you guys having me on. Thanks.
Right on, John. Well, thanks for getting that article up in the Federalist. That's great. I mean, if that's the spark that lights the fire of us getting into more outlets, mainstream media and whatnot, we really do want to take the narrative back for Comicsgate as a whole, and we do want to change the face of the comic book industry.
Yes.
It's a big job, but somebody's got to do it. Edwin?
Yeah. Wherever you're at in the world, whoever you are, whatever you do, show as much gratitude as you can for the things that come your way. Show as much kindness and respect to the people that you encounter. Give them as much kindness and respect as they allow you, and perhaps even a little bit more. And take care of yourselves.
Amen to that.
Amen.
Thank you, everyone, for being here. Thanks for supporting Flying Sparks, for supporting Lone Star. We broke 48,000. Matt Hayes, $5. Marvel and DC are moving farther into SJW creators. It's going to take 5 or 10 years for them to purge and recover. Well, we've got a 5 or 10 year plan, so we're going to make sure we squeeze in there while they're trying to recover. We really do want, I mean, my goal is legitimately to be taking on Marvel and DC in 10 years. It's you know, it's a big goal, but I believe we have the talent and now the resource and the ability, you know.
I think we'll be there in 2 to 5. I think just the growth we're seeing, it's going to happen.
That'd be great. From your lips to God's ears.
Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer.
Come on, John.
Who could it be? Believe it or
John
not,
doesn't know
it's
this. He's too
just me. Really? You don't know the greatest American hero?
No, this is old people stuff, guys. I don't know what you're doing.
All right, guys. Thank you. Mahalo. Aloha. Peace out. God bless.
Lone Star